It's cheap, it's easy, it's four-wheel drive, it is 10 million times better than camping in a tent. It is my awesome truck. Van lifers, prepare to be jealous! This is a 2007 four-wheel drive GNC Canyon. It's basic, yes, but it has everything that I really need. It required no building to create what you see here. So this is the sleep space. I learned that I have to keep the sleep space sacred. I can't clutter back here because it's just my place that I hang out. It's my zen. I've got my water, I've got my Kindle, I've got my knife. Yep. I got little unicorn lights. I have a real mattress back there. It was the cheapest mattress. It's not one that you would want for your house, but it is a nice twin mattress that you can easily fit two people on. Then I have a weighted blanket on top, a real pillow, and I can sleep forever in here. I really can. If the temperature's right, if I am not woken up by direct sunlight, which it's nice to have these blacked out windows because that's unlikely to happen if I've especially parked in the way that I want to, facing the front of the car east where the sun will come up so that I don't have it here. I think the only thing that a tent is better is I can't put screens up really in here because I push the windows out to open them. So a mosquito net is really the best thing I can do. And I would just tack it to the top and put it around the mattress. So I'm used to them, I don't mind them. And I just love that I can pull up anywhere and have my bed here without having to do any prep, without setting anything up. I can just pull up to a place, look at a beautiful view, have a coffee in bed. That is the coolest thing about this truck. This truck is really not fancy, and that's totally fine. I love that about him, but I don't even think we ever had a back seat in here, so it's just a two-seater. Pretty much everything that I bring with me is in the back two seats, just shoved back there. So I have my clothes here. These are my electronics and a pair of hiking shoes. I have 4 pairs of shoes in here and 4 hats, and that is something that is so exciting because you can't do that when you're flying, you can't do that when you're backpacking. So I kind of got a little indulgent and brought all those things, and it's totally fine. I have the space. I love that about truck camping. And here is my camp stove. Here is my cooler. So this is basically my fridge. This is how I keep things cold. This is my kitchen, if you will. I do have to get ice for this every other day basically because it's really hot here in the 90s. Oh boy, it's all melted. But I think it would last for 2 days if it were in the 80s, 70s. I have a bag here of all the things that don't have to be cold as well, so I've got lots of snacks. I have 4 bottles of water just across the middle because that is basically how I make sure that I'm gonna have no problem if I break down or just if anything happens. I also really like to wash my face every night still. This is my wash basin. I have my solar charger here and just miscellaneous kitchen stuff that I need, fuel and all that. And then I have my bag here for my trash, because I pack everything out. Oh, and the amount of times I pull over to pee, can't even count. Oh my God. This is my gym. I'll demonstrate it for you later. One thing that's really not great is that I cannot turn this off. And every time I open the door, I'm draining the battery. So it forces me to be a lot more organized and get everything I'm gonna need for the next hour kind of at once, because it would be bad news probably if I needed a jump here.
In order to avoid setting my bedding on fire, I usually cook on a non-vegetated area of the ground. Make sure you look at the fire restrictions whenever you drive into the national forest, as they will let you know if stoves are allowed. Often stoves are and campfires are not during fire season, quite understandably.
It's really not bad. By the way, I picked that camping spot for this. Next adventure. Oh, maybe I should empty the cooler first.
Yeah.
I need new ice.
So in terms of driving the truck, hitting the brakes on this car is a little bit of a leg workout. These brakes are not at all sensitive. The biggest problem I have though is not that. It's the back windows are big blind spots, and so it just takes me a little bit longer sometimes to switch lanes, which is fine. That really used to cause me a lot of anguish, but I've just learned what to avoid now in this truck. You know, I think that sometimes people are afraid of driving big cars, and this is not that much different than driving a sedan, to be honest with you. Once you get used to the fact that you are higher up, you probably do have a lower center of gravity, so you can't take turns super quick, but I never do anyway.
Next, I headed from Winton National Forest to Fish Lake National Forest. I love that national forests allow free dispersed camping, provided that you leave no trace and aren't visible from the road. When I'm out on trips like this, I'm always looking for Bureau of Land Management and national forest options. There's almost always established campsites along the way. However, they never have services and almost never have tables or anything else, and you must leave no trace to use them.
Morning. I slept until 9:45 and I am pleased about that. I'm at over 9,000 feet here in this national forest, and I am looking at, I think, what I came here for right now. I am straight luxuriating today. I have this like superfood matcha beverage, but the best part about it is I have a battery powered, USB charged milk frother. Iced matcha and pando. What more can you ask for, honestly?
This thing is the best. I even bring it when I'm backpacking. It's not very heavy, it folds up really small. So this guy is currently at 16%, and I'll just plug him in. There we go. I'm just gonna put this in the sunniest place I can find.
That ought to work well.
I'm also able to charge while I'm driving though, so that's kept my phone and the speaker charged, because I'm playing the speaker the whole time I'm driving since I can only get the radio in this car. Trust me, the radio in the middle of nowhere, anywhere, sucks. I obviously have to somehow handle charging the bigger stuff like my laptop or my drone batteries, and so for that... Nobody looks at you weird if you charge stuff at Starbucks. Then my next struggle is usually shade if I want to hang out in a place for a while, so I'll just open up these side windows, let the air flow through, and it's cool enough here today to hang out for a little while doing that.
In terms of washing, always collect water from the source. Wash away from it with biodegradable soap, then scatter it away from the water source. Never wash directly with soap in bodies of water.
You go through about one of these per day between washing my face, brushing my teeth, drinking. I can definitely refill these, and I always do, but I like to have at least 3 in the car.
And in terms of showers, truck stops, big gas stations, and KOA campsites almost always have showers for sale. Google is your friend.
The gym. If it's not hiking, kettlebell swings can be not a bad alternative. Okay, I think the last thing we have to talk about is what you do if you have to use the bathroom. I always have a separate Ziploc for my toilet paper. All I use toilet paper goes in there. I never leave it in the environment. I hate coming across it, and so does everyone else, so I think it's best to pack that out. In terms of what you do with your human waste, it depends on where you are. Some places they advise burying it, others you should have a bucket. A Home Depot bucket works, and you put bags in it and go in there and then throw it away when you get a chance. Otherwise, you dig a hole, you go in nature, you leave nothing but what was already in your body. I don't think it's a big deal at all. In fact, it can be really nice. Otherwise, you could always go to a gas station. Gas stations are plentiful and they always have bathrooms, and you can use that. So realistically, this setup is perfect for... That is some serious thunder. Oh my God.
So realistically, this is probably the perfect setup for me for about a week or a few days. I don't think it would work great for long-term trips in the winter. I have slept in there in the winter time. I did that in Death Valley, and it does get really cold there overnight. So you've been seeing little snippets of my solo Utah camping trip. So if you want to see the whole thing, that video is coming out next week. Be sure to subscribe because next we're hunting for that Martian landscape that is all over Instagram. And I think I found it. Maybe I should pack up and move on.